Alright, hello. Today I'm gonna be doing the first tutorial in the series on Python. So if you followed the last video that I made, you should have PyCharm or some Python IDE installed on your device. For all the examples I'm doing, I'm gonna be using PyCharm Community Edition. So open PyCharm. Now it might not even be on your desktop. You might actually have to search it down here and then search up PyCharm and to get it. But as soon as you have it open, cool. So I made a project already, which is why it has this right here. But I'll make a new project real quick because the last time I tried to record this, it was a fail. So I have to do a new project. So you're probably gonna see a different window that will have like something like project, open project, and version control or something like that. If you have that, all right, it's whatever. Just click create project, and then you'll be at the screen that I'm on right now. You're just going to want to change what was highlighted in blue or anything after PyCharm project right here. You just want to delete this. This will be the name of your project. So I'm going to do YT that is project. YT project. And you don't have to change your base interpreter. I already have mine or what I want. I believe should be it, right? Well, trying to think because I did look on yourself in this app. Alright, send it. If it doesn't work, I have to re-record. Alright, so yours box is going to be checked down here where it says create a main.py welcome script. Just uncheck this. It's dumb. Then click create. Click this window. You won't see that just because I made a project already. Sorry, if the mic is bad, I'm using like a really bad mic because I am just too kind of lazy-ish to get my good mic out and plug it in, set it on its stand, mount it and stuff. There we go. So might take a few seconds or even minutes, depending on your machine, to create a virtual environment. I have a decent computer, so it normally doesn't take too much for me. Alrighty. So now that you have your project here, you're probably gonna have a project window on your left side of your screen. You will have a project window on the side of your screen. You're just going to click the drop-down menu for the folder. It should be the name of your project. Mine is YT project. Click the arrow next to it, or you can just double click it and it pulls down. Now you can put your .py file pretty much wherever you want here. Now don't worry about the .py file thing right now. I'll show you how to make that in a second. But I like to put it in Venv just because it is just a library root. It has everything in it. I just feel like it's better to put it in here. It's all up to you. So wherever you want to put it, right click, click new, or hover over new, Python file, and put whatever you want to name it, then .py. So I'm going to name mine print.py since we're going to be focusing on print statements. So you should have an autocorrect system on your PyCharm if you have the right interpreter. So if you were to type print, if the Python interpreter is working, just type print, and you should have a thing that comes up beneath it that is print, and if you click tab, it'll autocomplete. This is the same for most of all editors. If you don't have this, make sure you have Python 3.8 installed from the Microsoft Store and restart your PyCharm to make it work. If that's still not working, do what I did and change the interpreter at the start, but don't worry about that. If you are having troubles with it, put it in the comments. Don't change anything unless you're having problems. Alright, so let's focus on print statements. So print statements literally just print what's inside of them out to the output. This is good for debugging and such like that. So I'm going to do a quick example here. So let's say we got print, and then we did hello world. If you were to right click and then click run, or Control Shift F10, it'll print hello world. So if you're new to coding, you probably won't know why I put these little dashes up here. But if you're not new to programming, you probably already know that this is a string. Strings hold a line of text. I'm so used to freaking Lua for some reason. Also, hashtags comment out things. If you don't know what commenting it means that it just hides sort of whatever you put in here. So if I were to put print, and then I put a hi, you can see that it won't print hi, but if I were to delete that right after it, it would then put hi. So it just silences out whatever is to the right of it. So strings just hold how do I explain it? It's just hold text at its simplest form. So you could either use this or this. Now I know a lot of people prefer this, but I prefer this just because it's a lot cleaner. But there are some downsides to using this, but you probably won't use these till later on in your life anyways. So what would happen if we didn't have a string? If we didn't have a string, what would happen is that it would run into an error because it's an invalid syntax. It's looking for a variable or something that it's looking for something that's storing something else, which is we'll get into in probably the next video actually. But all you really need to know for now is that a string holds characters of text, and it would run improperly if you didn't have the print statement like it is now. Now, you're probably like, well, can I put multiple print statements like I did previously? Yes. You can add as many print statements as you want, as many times as you want. Now, a good practice to get into is using tab to autocomplete your sentences. So if I were to do print, and you can see that there's this down here, if I click tab, it autocompletes and put the brackets there. But let's say I was doing something like function. You can see that it says function. If I click tab, it'll do function. And if I were doing something like, I don't know, return, it would autocorrect me, but obviously it can't because I'm not in stuff. We don't have to go over this. I'm just using it as an example. Alright, so if we run this now, we're going to have hello world, a whole bunch of gibberish. So that is literally the print statement right there. That's that simple. The string is just a line of text or characters of text inside something, so print statements. This is going to be it for the video. Like I said, I'm only going on one topic. But if you want to complicate this a little bit more, which I don't really want to, but there is a different ways to do hellos and stuff like that. So let's say you wanted hello and then world like this. So what if you wanted hello world like this? But two print statements is kind of annoying. You don't want to have print and then hello world, because after time, when you want to have this multiple times, you have to like, continuously do this and this and this. And then, oh, I just did autocomplete and did a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to have this, and this just is too clunky. But if you did have a way to simplify this, it would come down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would come to 5 lines of text instead of 10. Which, wait, why didn't I just do 10 divided by 2? It's whatever. So the way to simplify this is by doing print, doing hello, \n world. So / just shows that you're not writing in the string anymore, and you're writing outside of it, and then you do new line. And n stands for new line. So that it says hello, go to a new line, world. So when it sees this, it's just like, ah, dang, gotta go down another line, and it pretty much just brings that world down to this line over here. So now if we run this, it will say hello world. So instead of having 10 lines of code, we can have 5. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it still outputs the same amount if we had 10 lines of code. It's just a lot more simplified. And let's say we wanted to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we do this here. Let's say we wanted to print it so it did it all in one thing. We would do the same thing. We would just grab this \n print, and you can see that we can just keep doing this over and over again. \n. It literally has no limit, and you can just keep doing this. And now you can see that one line of code printed what would be 3 lines of code. But you don't have to understand this. It's just a little bit more stuff that you can, have a little basis off of if you want to mess around. This is very simple stuff. The next tutorial is probably up by the time you've watched this video. So if you want to, keep watching. And that's about it. And yeah, do not comment on me still going to OBS and clicking stop instead of having a button for it. I don't care.